Joel Klatt joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Joel?
Good. I'm glad that we finally made this happen. I may have canceled like 5 different times, so I publicly want to apologize for being so elusive.
Joel, it's okay. I mean, you could be as elusive as you want. I always have the closing speed. You understand that, okay?
Hey, we see it every spring. We see it every spring.
Exactly. So let's talk about the best team in college football going in. When can you suss that out? Because I mean, these preseason polls are one thing. When can you actually suss out who's the best team in college football, Joel?
Oh, that's a tremendous question. I think that you can see who the most talented team is very early, but the best team takes all season. I'm a huge believer in the lifespan of a team. I had coaches that used to preach this, and I really gravitate towards coaches that still talk about this type of stuff. And each and every team, in particular in college football, and even to some degree in the NFL, although those cores can stay together for a long period of time, but in particular in the college game, because of the quick cycle and the cyclical nature, the 3, 4 years, 5 years that players are in the program, the lifespan is 1 year. And each team can be so different. And so I don't think that you can really see who the best team is until the very end. In particular, last year, I thought Ohio State was the best team in the country almost the entire season, but then they lose at home to Michigan State. So to me, that question is twofold. Talented, yeah, you can see it right out of the gate. But the best team, it takes the entire year to build towards, grow towards, gain chemistry, and then we finally see who's playing the best football.
And we had David Shaw on earlier this week. He said he would take preseason games if he could. And, we're talking in the NFL, like these preseason games are meaningless. So how quickly can a college football team get up to speed? I mean, for instance, Stanford and Kansas State on Friday night, it might look a little ragged first couple of quarters, or what are you expecting to see from them?
It certainly can. It certainly can be, ragged as you call it. It doesn't surprise me that he would want preseason games. He and I have talked at length. He's very much in favor of a more NFL style model throughout college football. That means having a commissioner, having more standardized schedules, because quite frankly, the schedule he plays and the schedule some of the other teams play in the country don't even resemble one another. It's like getting on a bike and one person's going to have a road race on a flat, road, and the other person's going to scale a mountain, and they think that they're in the same race. The inequities in schedules are great, and so David understands that. He wants more continuity, and I think he would absolutely gravitate towards the preseason model. I don't think that we could ever go that route in college football because of the litigious nature of former players, and we can't start subjecting players to more contact and greater chance for injury.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it goes against what we're preaching as far as player safety goes. However, what I do think would be great is in the second week of camp or the third week of camp, if we would allow teams to do what the NFL does, which is go practice with one another. I think that would be a better model. There's more teams that you would never see in the regular season or even the playoffs. So, for instance, let's say Purdue wants to go and they want to go match up with Kansas State. They might play in a bowl game, maybe, but they would have some invaluable practices if they 3 or 4 days in a row practice with one another and got some live scrimmaging in. And I think that would be a better model than actually trying to suit up and play a preseason game.
Joel Klatt of Fox Sports joining me here. So in other words, from what I'm understanding, and I figured this too, but you can tell me, if a team plays another team in college football in early September and that one of the teams has already played a game, that's a distinct advantage over the team that has yet to play a game. Would you agree with that assessment, Joel?
I heard this argument, and I loved the passionate argument. And I just wanted all parties involved, guys, you're all too close because everyone wants to disagree with you, Rich, because they see you every single day and they want to be right. And, Rich, you're too close. You're too much go blue. But can I be the voice of reason for a quick second?
Sure.
Just a quick second.
Go for it, Joe. No, please be the voice of reason. And even if it is against what I'm thinking, which is it's a distinctive.
You're gonna like it.
Well, because Harbaugh doesn't want practice tape out there that anybody could just pass around, right, Joel? Too? Yeah. No?
It is a distinct advantage in this regard. The biggest improvement that any team has, in particular in college, but this goes throughout the levels, is from game 1 to game 2. I never would want to play my first game against an opponent's second game. I don't care what level they are. I don't care what talent base they have. They've gotten themselves to a point where they are going to be substantially better than they would have been in their first game. That's always the biggest growth that you see, game 1 to game 2. So Michigan's at a distinct disadvantage. Is that going to affect them against a team like Hawaii? Probably not. So is it a moot point? Probably. But, Rich, you are 100% right.
Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. Brockman, you okay over there?
We agree to disagree, Joel. They're 6 touchdown favorites, Joel.
So what?
It doesn't matter.
I just said that it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but is there a distinct advantage? Absolutely there is.
So Alabama, USC, suss that one out for me, because that's the one I think that everybody's really focused on, 2 top 20 teams. I know Oklahoma and Houston also has the same billing in that regard, but Jones, Mahal, USC, Alabama, suss that one out for me, Joel.
So USC, Alabama is getting all the attention, and I'll talk about that in just a moment.
Sure.
But there are 3 or 4 other games that are far more important in the grand scheme of things in college football.
Go for it.
And I'll point those out very quickly.
Sure.
Florida State, Ole Miss on Monday. That's a huge game, an absolutely huge game, in particular for the strength of each conference. You know, the winner of that game is going to have a huge feather in the cap, and they're going to take that feather in their cap back to their conference because, remember, in this day and age of the playoff and subjectivity of the 4 playoff teams, it really matters what people think of your conference and the strength of your conference. That's why these matchups are so important. Also with Deandre Francois, the quarterback for Florida State, just to see him. So that's one. Texas, Notre Dame, huge game because I think Notre Dame is a little overrated. Texas might be a little underrated. And if Texas were to win, that's going to be an enormous swell of momentum for the entire Big 12 conference because one of their power brands will be, quote unquote, back, and Charlie Strong will have something going. Meanwhile, Notre Dame will be, waffling in the wind a little bit at that point. And then the other one is UCLA, Texas A&M, for all the reasons I'm talking about. Conference strength matters so much. So a middle-of-the-road SEC West team playing UCLA, who is a prohibitive division favorite in the Pac-12, if A&M wins, the Pac-12 is going to be on some serious shaky footing because they're already being talked about as one of the conferences that people could see being left out for the second straight year. So those 3 games are so important, probably more so than USC-Alabama, which is the sexier matchup, but quite frankly, the worst of all the matchups because Alabama, I think, is going to steamroll USC.
Really?
USC is just not in a place. Their top-line talent is really good, primarily at the skill positions, but Alabama comes at you in waves of physicality, and that is something that USC cannot handle right now. They're going to be without Chad Wheeler, one of their really good offensive tackles, and against guys like Tim Williams, that's not going to be good. I think Alabama may win by 3 scores.
Wow. Joel Klatt joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show. Last question. Brockman, ask him the poll question for you right there.
Well, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around Alabama by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Who's the best player in college football, Joel? Is it Deshaun Watson, Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, or Dalvin Cook?
Oh, man, the most important player is Deshaun Watson. The best, most complete player is Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, guys, and this is a comparison that we need to start talking about. It's not Reggie Bush. It's not Danny Amendola or Wes Welker. The comparison for McCaffrey is a guy like Marshall Faulk.
Wow.
Because Faulk could run great between the tackles, and he was an unbelievable threat in every area of the field. Christian McCaffrey is a great runner between the tackles, a 2,000-yard rusher, plus a 1,000-yard receiver. He can do everything. He can change the game. He's the most complete player that I've seen in college football in a long time.
And I'd also put him up against Marshall Faulk in the Wonderlic, too. Marshall's one of the smartest guys I've ever met. Seriously.
Well, it takes a smart guy to be that much of a threat everywhere in the game, right?
No, I mean in
particular in the offenses that they each ran, they've got to line up all those different places and
know
be
it.
bright.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Joel, thanks so much for joining, and I look forward to the next time. Have a great time with Gus in the booth and in Stanford on Friday night. And for the rest of the season, I would love to catch up with you during the season.
Yes, it's going to be great. By the way, I've got Michigan in the playoff.
Oh, don't say those words. Oh, gosh.
I'm just saying. It's going to be really good.
With who else? Who else? Who else?
I've got Clemson, Oklahoma, and Alabama.
And Michigan?
Yep.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, but they can't send game tape to Hawaii.
Stop it. Stop it.
Way to just
You just heard
with
it.
his
Hold
mind,
on a minute.
Joel.
Hold on a minute. And I don't want to be
Why
accused
would
of...
they send game tape to Hawaii?
Exactly.
They don't have to.
Right. Thank you, Joel. And it is not a Michigan thing. If Urban Meyer did the same thing, I'd be saying the same thing. Why should he send his game tape around across the Pacific?
He's clearly afraid of Hawaii and that 6-touchdown spread.
Thank you for proving my point, Joel. Thank you.
You were right today.
Thank you. Today. Just take the today off, okay?
See you, Joel.
At Joel Klatt on Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.